What's up, KG3 TV? It's your girl Brittany, and I'm back today with another video. And today I came to talk to y'all. I haven't talked to y'all in a while, so today I just wanted to come and drop a little bit on you. And as you can see from the title, as well as listed in the description, the title of this video is "I'm no longer afraid of being naked." And basically, with that title, I mean the same way when you get ready to take a shower. You take off your clothes, but before you take off your clothes, you go through your day-to-day life, and your clothing cover up those things that most people can't see, be it stretch marks, scars, whatever it is, weight, unwanted weight. Your clothing covers it, and it hides. What am I saying? It hides those things. When you take off your clothes to get in the shower, you're naked, and no one's in that room but you. And you know the flaws. You see the scars when you take your clothing off. And that's pretty much what I'm saying here in this video, except in a different form. And what I mean by being naked here is I'm not afraid to show you those things that you can't see. I'm not afraid of walking in my truth. I'm not afraid of being who I am. Also, while being naked, I'm able to be real with myself while being real with others. I can show you that I'm not happy all the time, that I don't have it all together. Sometimes I fall into hard times or financial situations because I'm human. And it's okay to be naked. And also what happens is while you're being naked, you allow others to see you in a different light. No one wants to follow a perfect person. There's nothing that you can teach someone if you have it all together, if you're perfect all the time. No one can learn anything from a perfect person. So I'm willing to be naked so that I can be a vessel. In the midst of it, I've experienced some things that can help others. And what we fail to realize is that a lot of times when we go through things, when we experience things in life, they're not even for us. They're really not even about us. It's all so that God can get the glory in the end. Also, when you're going through it, there are people who you're attached to. There are people that will come later on that you're going to come in contact with who will need you to help them get through what they're going through, because they're going to experience. And you'll be able to speak to them and tell them how you got through. Sometimes the very thing that you're going through, that you're embarrassed, that you're ashamed of talking about or telling others about, is the same exact thing that someone else is experiencing, and they're on the verge of committing suicide. So don't be afraid to be naked. Do not be afraid to show people that I've experienced this, or I've been through this, or I've been through that. And when we keep going through even those of us that, are putting ourselves in the place of being leaders, we have to go through things. One thing I've also learned is that when God calls you, he also equips you. And what I mean by that is anything that you experience along the way, whether it be heartbreak, whether it be abandonment, whether it be financial situations, whether it be, your family is not there to support you, or, those of you who've experienced domestic violence, rape, molestation, all of that. Everything that you experience, every obstacle that you encounter is considered an armor. And what God does is he allows us to go through those things because it builds us, it strengthens us. If it does not break you, then it builds you. So when you experience those things, each and every time you get stronger. If you don't give up and you don't just call it quits, then you actually became stronger because you were able to make it through. You had more strength than you actually thought you actually, had in the beginning. And when you put on that armor, every single time you experience something else going forth, you can handle it a little bit better. You're able to deal with that situation a little bit better because now you're looking at it like, well, hey, don't try that again. You're telling the devil, don't try that again, because now I know what to do. I know how to handle myself and operate in that situation. So that's how you equip to deal with what you're going through. So if you're called to do anything, God is going to equip you in your calling. He's going to equip you while he calls you, or before he even calls you, he's going to equip you. So if you find yourself asking, why do I keep going through this? Why do I keep experiencing, these different things over and over and over and over and back to back? It's because God is saying that I need to take you through those places so that you can be strong in the place that I'm taking you to. A lot of us, including myself, we know what we're called to do. We know where we want to be, but we don't want the work that it takes to get there. We don't want to go through the things that we need to go through or experience to get there. And I find myself trying to rush into my destiny. And God has really been dealing with me on that a lot, because I can't rush into a place that he's about to take me, because in the midst of me rushing and running to that place, I'm missing a lot of the things along the way had I slowed down and I paid attention. So even those of you who, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if there's anything that you're setting your mind to or that you want to do, you aspire to do, I recommend you. I advise you to pace yourself. Trust God's timing. Because rushing along the way, rushing to get to that place, you're going to miss certain things. Just imagine running from one place. You have a standpoint, you have a start point, and you start at that point, and you know your ending point, you know where you're going, but you run straight to it. In the midst of that, you didn't see the things that were coming at you from the side. You don't know what's about to attack you from behind. But when you're slow, when you go at a pace, you go at a slow pace, you're more observant. You learn more. You can grasp better. You can hold on to things. So pace yourself. And in the midst of that, learn and take heed to the things that, God is showing you about yourself. Since I've learned to pace myself, God has begun to show me things about myself that I didn't really know, I didn't recognize. And I would wonder why every year I end up going through the same thing. If not at the same time, I end up going through the same thing. And that's because sometimes you're going to repeat the same process until you learn to change your pattern. And that's just what it is. If you continue to do things the same exact way every time, you're going to get the same exact result. You're going to get the same thing every single time. So I'm learning to change my patterns and trust the process, because I wouldn't be here if I wasn't called to be here. And I wouldn't have made it to this point if I was not supposed to be here. There's this thing called que sera, sera, which means whatever will be, will be. And that's exactly what it is. Whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. You can't force it. You can't rush it. You can't stop it. You don't have any control over it. It will happen. So there's no need in you rushing and running to it if it's going to happen anyway. Pace yourself so that you can learn certain things, so that you can grow along the way, so that you can build the strength that you need. You can have that armor that you need to battle other things when you get older. And you can be looking at it like, well, hey, I just keep going through heartbreak, or I just keep experiencing financial issues. How is that going to help me when I get to the place that, I know God has called me to be? And he's simply saying there's a lesson in everything that you go through. You may get to that place. You're wondering how heartbreak can tie into that. Well, you may get to that place that you asked me to be, or you asked me to carry you to. You may get in that place and you get married. I send you that husband or that wife that you want. And then they step out or they do something that is not to your liking, and then you break or you fold. And God was saying, when you were worried while you were going through it, I was equipping you for this time. I was equipping you for that moment, so that you would know how to handle situations such as this. You would know exactly what you needed to do. So instead of you giving up and quitting in the midst of when you've gotten to your peak, you've gotten where you asked me to take you, instead of you giving up in that place, you now know what to do. You have the strength. You have the knowledge and the understanding as to how to deal with that situation. So I just advise each of you, do not be afraid to be naked. You have no idea who could actually learn from you, who could grow from what you're going through. You have no idea. What you're going through is not even about you. It's actually for him to get the glory. There are people who will need what you've experienced. So if it's rape, and I don't know why that's been laid on my heart, for any of you women that have experienced that, I would love to talk with you. If you've ever experienced that, or even molestation, if you've been molested as a child, what you went through is not who you are. What you've been through is not who you are. Yes, the situation was bad, and no, you did not deserve it, but you were in the process of that, God was still equipping you for what's to come. Your very story will be the main thing to help someone else through. Do not give up. You're not any less of a person. You're not, it does not make you unworthy. It does not make you unclean. You're still able to be used. You're still able to be an example. You're still able to be a vessel. You're worthy of leading others. You're worthy of helping others. Do not be afraid of being naked. Any lesson that you've been through, anything that you've been through can actually be that thing to help the next person get through. So stop being afraid to be naked. It's okay not to have it together all the time. It's okay to literally be who you are. Tell people what you went through and where you've gone. You never know. You never know where God can take you. You never know where God can take them. And I used to be sad a lot, experiencing a divorce at such a young age, being married 6.5, almost 7 years. I used to be sad. I used to really, really, be hard on myself because I experienced that at such a young age. And I realized that even in the midst of some of the things that I experienced, I was just like, Lord, why am I going through it at this age? Like, I've been faithful, like I'm doing this and I'm doing that right. I don't do wrong by people. Why is it happening to me? And he had to show me that there are people who are coming along. There are young women who are going to experience the same thing. If not, they're headed in that direction. Because you've been there, you'll be able to help them. And granted, I've had so many women when I didn't feel that I was worthy of giving anyone advice, when I felt I wasn't worthy of speaking into anyone's life. God sent women to me, young girls to me, who have experienced the same exact thing. They were in the same exact process, and they were like, well, hey, I watched you on a day-to-day basis. I've admired you because you didn't give up, because you still have hope. You still believe in love. I'm still faithful. I'm still hopeful. I still believe that I can have that. And I began to tell them some of the things that I experienced, and I've watched them seriously grow from it. They took what I went through. They took my experience, and they were able to take something from it and learn and grow from it. So don't be afraid. As crazy as it may seem, as bad as it may sound, someone needs you. You are still worthy of helping someone. Someone needs you to be naked. Someone needs you to be open, be free, and be able to tell them what you've experienced and not be ashamed of where you were, because where you were is not where you're going. Where you are right now is not where you're going. A messed up beginning is still not the end. Greater is on the way. So y'all just stay true to yourself. Walk in your truth. Don't be afraid of your truth. And in the midst of each and everything that you experience in life, just remember to keep going, keep growing, and keep glowing. And I'm out.